Welcome to Pagan Coffee Talk. If you enjoy our content, please consider donating and following our socials. So it's been a while since we've talked about divination.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Yeah. So you want to revisit that and see where it takes us?
Sure.
All right.
What would you like to know about divination?
Why do you always ask me these questions?
I'm divining the future.
I've divined that I have no answer to that question.
First of all, there's different forms of meditation, all right? I mean, not of divination, all right?
Right.
Some I like, some I don't. I don't tend to like the ones that there's no wiggle room there. When we get into astrology or numerology, to me, they seem a little prepackaged.
Okay. Where it's this description and this description only.
This description, right. And no others. Again, this is where I find that astrology type thing, where it's less of that intuition.
Okay.
I tend to like intuition over regular, straight out divination.
Okay, so you're thinking more like scrying or tarot or pendulums or
somewhere where the reader actually has some leeway to what in the world's being interpreted and how it's being interpreted.
Okay.
Right. Well, don't get me wrong. Like, I understand tarot cards have certain meanings depending on if they're right side up or upside down, and they have traditional meanings, and you can use those if you want. I'm not saying you can't.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm just saying I don't tend to like those because they're so generic.
Well, they're generic and they're rigid.
Yeah.
There's not much room for interpretation, really. I mean, when you look at it.
But it's kind of, to me, when you're doing that, you're looking in the paper, looking up your horoscope for the day.
Right.
You know, I'm sorry, I used to read these all the time, and the majority of times it never matched up. It never did.
No, not really.
It rarely did.
Not really, no.
All right. Why it was in there is beyond me, besides taking up space. But this is where in the world I get this idea from, because again, it's kind of,
right.
I don't know about you, but I remember back in the day remember when they used to have the Aquarius books or the Leo books?
Oh, yeah.
It was absolutely fascinating to sit there and read and how everything seemed to exactly match up with you. And if you read all the other books, they said the exact same thing to a certain extent.
Yeah, pretty much.
When you start to listen to it, it's so vague. You're kind of like, this could be anybody.
Right. That's always been kind of my thing against things like astrology.
Right.
It's because I would look at the supposed descriptions of other signs and what their typical behavior and mannerisms and stuff were like. And I was like, that could be me.
Yeah.
Or I've got some of that. I do that.
Yeah. I do that too. And I do a little bit of that. And
right.
A little bit of that. And it's not as clean as everybody would like it to be.
No.
And I understand there's some nuance there, the cusp and this and locations. But at the end of the day, if I can buy a computer, if I can go and pay $2 to get a reading from an AI that can do all of this, I mean, are you with me?
Yep.
Where's that? And I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but where's that touch of that divine? Where's that touch of that something extra that we keep on claiming in craft?
Right. I mean, I suppose you could work a way into that, but I mean, with the way it's laid out, I don't know how.
Don't get me wrong. I don't know about you. Over the years, I have done that where I've the whole get your palms read here outside the house.
Oh yeah.
All right. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not pointing fingers at any one particular, because I've been in some houses and they've been this ethnic, and I've been in this house and it's been this. No pointing fingers.
Right.
But I'm sorry, when you're in there and you're in that situation, it's hard not to go, okay, this, I could see where this could easily become a con. And it's hard not to sit there and go, yeah, I could see where this person could take somebody for a ride easily.
Well, and I think that's where the whole for entertainment purposes only thing came from.
It did.
And it was for that reason because so many people were getting conned.
Hmm. When you call them up and none of the predictions come true, or the predictions are so vague, it
Well,
could mean anything.
I look at it kind of like the show Mrs. Maisel, and Miriam's mom goes to see a psychic on her pretty much on a
Yes.
regular basis, and she sits down and she's like da 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 da, and they're just chatting back and forth, and she's like, "Oh, I got this. Here's this little satchel. You do this, that'll be $20."
Yes. Yeah.
You know.
I
Well,
just,
I want to know. I want to know about her future. Is she gonna? Oh, honey, don't worry about her. She's gonna meet a man. I already see it. Da da da. Here, that's another 30
I, re-
bucks.
I, I remember that because I remember her walking outside of the place a couple of times and didn't want anybody to see her walk in.
So yeah, I mean
But
it's easy to get conned and it's easy to fall into that, you know.
we're back to when people feed into each other's ego.
Hmm.
That's where this con starts. I realize that there are probably some people out there that truly believe and want to do and all this other stuff, but I'm sorry, doing readings for people are a whole lot harder than you think it is.
Oh God, yeah.
Now, again, when you're sitting there, and I'm going to put this out there, okay? If you're sitting down and you're using some form of divination and you're thinking of it more as a psychological evaluation of a person, I'm going to say you're more along the lines I think we need to be down.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The point there is to have that human connection, that extra something there.
Right.
It's that great equalizer of, hey, everybody has a future. Everybody has to worry about it. What's the next thing that's going on? Everybody wants a leg up.
Right.
But let's be honest. I mean, how many times have you gotten a reading from somebody and it be exactly what you expected it to be?
You mean bad?
Well, I mean, that any of it came true, or any of it was actually right.
I mean, most of the readings that I've had, I don't expect them to be anywhere near accurate, and I treat it just like entertainment, you know. I'm paying for a show.
Right.
Every once in a while you get surprised. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think for the most part it's just it's hit or miss.
I don't want to say to sit here and say we don't rely on them. I'll be the first one to sit there and tell you to do a divination on a spell to see if you should even do it or not.
Oh, sure.
And I'm still going to sit here and say this. This is just to give you an idea of how the spell is going to go, not how it's actually going to work out.
Right, because we can't know that. I mean, we can get a general idea, but you've always got to go into it with the understanding that it may not work out the way you intended.
What do you expect when you put a thought out there into chaos and go, hey, chaos?
Right?
Hey, I want this to happen.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Hey, we'll see what we can do about that. I'll put that on my list.
Mhm.
Should we expect more out of people doing these divinations, or should we expect more of a psychological profile? Should we expect actual insights into the, or should we look at the pagan community going, okay, y'all, we're going to quit playing games here. This is nothing more than a tool to get a psychological evaluation with some extra thrills attached to it.
Okay, but see, my thing with that is if you're going to do that, then there needs to be additional training. It needs to be a trained service. You know what I mean? You need to have, like, if you're going to go for that, then it would be like going to see a psychologist. if that's my purpose and going to have a divination done for me or done on me,
Well, now
then
again,
I
when I
expect them to be trained. I expect it to be.
no, I'm not a licensed therapist, but I'm just going to say, especially when I'm doing a one-on-one divination,
Mm-hmm.
things get a little bit more personal and all that in the conversation. Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
That it's not what happens when you're doing it at a party and everybody's kind of around you.
No, and I get that, but I'm just saying if this is what you're doing for a living, right? And you genuinely
Right.
want to help people and people are genuinely wanting to get help from you and it's not just entertainment for them. Like it would be mainly for me if I were to go, it'd just be, yeah, okay, this will be good for a laugh.
Right.
But I think that if that's going to be your outlet for spiritual help, then yeah, no, I think there needs to be like a school and there needs to be training. It needs to include like it needs to include things like body language. It needs to include
We're not, we are training people to give spiritual counsel to people to begin with.
right, but I'm talking
And,
strictly divination.
I am too. And the fact is that divination is a very good tool to sometimes do that because you're bypassing a lot of other things there that people in their personality will often do or fool themselves, where if you have them doing a divination you can sort of bypass that and go, well, here's what I see from your cards. Because people have a tendency that, again, when you're sitting there and you're talking to them and all this, they have a tendency to want to lie to themselves about what the real issues are sometimes.
Well, that's true.
And this is why in the world I like this, is because I've had people come over for counseling and us do a card reading, and that allows us to sort of jump that hurdle and get to actual problems that they're actually having, versus that way I can sit there and go, okay, your real problem isn't there, it's not a spiritual one. This is, you need to go talk to your counselor about this now.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. I don't know. I still think that if you're gonna deal more on a psychological level, then there needs to be something else there besides, oh, I can read your cards.
I'm not talking about psychoanalyzing somebody. I'm just talking about us giving regular spiritual training and counseling.
Okay.
All right. We're not trying to cure somebody's bipolar.
No,
Again,
I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry if you took it that way.
but
I didn't.
that's sort of where in the world it sounded like you were going. Oh, no, no. You need, if you're going to use this like this, you need to be a trained therapist. And all I'm saying is, no, as priests and priestesses, when we go through training method, this is a tool we have. It is a good helping with counseling because it sort of breaks barriers and it allows a conversation to happen a whole lot easier,
And that I can see. That I can get on board with.
versus it just being this, oh, we're going to predict the future. No, it is a tool that we can use to help disarm certain counseling things. And we need to kind of like promote this. This is a counseling tool. We need to use it more often.
Right.
Doesn't matter if you're scrying, doesn't matter if you're using astrology or whatever. These things were basically the basis of most counseling, I believe.
Right. I mean, I do think that they were originally designed to be a tool. And when I say designed, I mean, you know, when somebody actually came up with the idea, oh, look, we can do this.
Yeah.
I think it came out of a place of need, as most other things do.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I think it needs to go back to that instead of just being, oh, can you tell me if I'm going to meet a man?
Right. You
Am I going to
know,
marry this woman? Are we going to have kids? Whatever.
right. Instead of asking, hey, are the gods happy with my sacrifices lately? Are the gods happy with my prayers lately? These are not the questions that they're asking.
No, they're not.
If you're a priest or a priestess, start thinking about these divination tools as more of a psychological evaluation helping tools. They can often get conversations started and people's defenses down to where you can actually talk about real problems and get to the root of them so we can actually find a solution to the problem.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially if it's some type of visual aid, um, even something in the visual itself may help they may see that and see whatever it is, and they'd be like, "Ooh, wait, I know what this is."
Right.
And then that could spark a whole new conversation. So,
Well, I've even explained this when we've talked about spells. Is that normally when people come over and they're wanting us to cast a spell, we'll cast a spell for them, but we'll sit there and talk to them and do a divination reading.
mm-hmm.
And again, this is a counseling trick. It gives us a chance to counsel them
Right.
to find out what's really going on, to figure out, okay, are we going to do this spell and they're going to go away and be happy, or am I going to see them come back next week?
Right.
When it doesn't work the way they expect it to, am I going to have to counsel more? It's still something we do. Even in that case, we're sort of trying to put a break on there going, hey, do you really need to do this spell? Are you really thinking about this right?
Mm.
And again, it's still being used as a form of counseling.
Right.
So, I mean, just to sit there and to think, okay, divination is just for predicting the future or something like that, or to it's not. It is a counseling tool, I believe.
Well, I think that's one of the many uses of divination for sure. I think it's probably one of the better uses. And I completely agree. I think it needs to go back to that.
And especially if you're with the right person. Are you with me?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, if it's somebody that you know and somebody that you can trust, then it's definitely going to benefit.
The person doing that being a little bit more charismatic and more attentive, and it goes a long way.
Sure it does. I mean, if you've got somebody who's got resting bitch face, are you really going to open up to that person? Just saying.
Yes, I can see love right here in your horizon. It's so excited. Are you excited? I am.
I can't contain it.
I can't contain it. That's not an iceberg on my ass. It's just frozen water.
Yeah, and
no judging there.
No, of course not. A little charisma goes a long way for sure.
It really does. These are the things people need to think about when they're actually sitting here doing divination. All right, what part of the inside of this person's psyche are you actually getting a hold of?
Right.
Where do we need to help? Where do we need to look? Where do we need to dig into stuff?
Right. What information can we pull from this?
Right. Where can we help?
Right.
How can we help this person be a better person?
I mean,
that want to be a better person.
What I was going to say, and after all, isn't that why people usually come to us anyway?
Asking for advice?
Because they want to be better people? Isn't that what we're doing?
Ain't that what we're supposed to be doing? Just saying.
Yeah, just asking for a friend.
All right, I'm ready for some coffee.
All right, let's get some coffee. Thanks for listening. Join us next week for another episode. Pagan Coffee Talk is brought to you by Life Temple and Seminary. Please visit us at lifetempleseminary.org for more information, as well as links to our social media: Facebook, Discord, Twitter, YouTube, and Reddit.
We travel down this trodden path, a maze of stone and mire. Just hold my hand as we pass by a sea of blazing pyres. And so it is the end of our days, so walk with me till morning breaks. And so it is the end of our days, so walk with me till morning.